Hey y'all, I'm Aeon.
And I'm the Lioness.
And you're listening to Box number 512 podcast.
Grown Black Trans Woman Talk. Changing your world one conversation at a time.
The show begins now. Hey y'all, my name is Aeon.
And I'm the Lioness.
And we're back with another installment of Box number 512 podcast, Grown Black Trans Woman Talk. We are going to start with updates. Lioness, I'm gonna let you go first. What's going? You have a big announcement, sis.
Yes, I do. Oh my God. So, over the last 10 weeks, I've been involved in a very intensive process. I'm very happy to announce that I am a choral lady, a proud choral lady, a member of Kappa Iota Sigma Sorority Incorporated. The first the first incorporated sorority for trans women, and it's a very exciting opportunity for me. It was a very, very awesome journey, and I'm excited that I'm a part of a group of ladies that I think are moving the needle forward, definitely creating visibility and awareness, and they're united in sisterhood and service. And so it was just a wonderful opportunity. It was a lot of highs and lows, just in general, for those of you who have been through, trying to become a part of sorority, getting to know people, it requires that you really, really humble yourself and be ready to be open to receiving the relationships. And, Kappa Iota Sigma Sorority Incorporated is a wonderful org. I had some wonderful support in the org, and I look forward to many more years of successful and active membership. So yes, that's what's going on with me as far as that's concerned. So I was in Phoenix this week. So let me give the girls the rundown on Phoenix. If you're a trans person in Phoenix, they're going to live for you. That is one of the most trans friendly places I've ever been to in my life. But it is also one of the most racially it was one of the most racially objectifying experiences that I've ever had in my life. So that's a place that doesn't really have a lot of Black people. The Black community there, from even the Black people that I've met, they very much run like in the house party kind of circuit. Like the Black culture kind of moves to its own separate connection from the club life of Phoenix. But they have like an entire trans district. They have, if I'm not mistaken, prostitution is legal there. So they have like whole bars where you can pick up the girls. But you would think that that would bring like more culture. It was very whitewashed. It very much gave. We were told in advance by some of the girls that live in Phoenix that, oh, don't be surprised when they ignore you at the bar. They don't see the Black girls. Oh, don't be surprised when we go to this place if they treat you this way, because that's just how it is in Phoenix. And I didn't care for that. I am a Black girl coming from Atlanta, where being Black is not something that we have to be have to minimize or to feel oppressed by. And so, as much as I enjoyed we live for trans, like the men there live for trans women. Like that is an extremely trans friendly place. But it's not us. It's not those of melanin. For minorities, for even the Native population, that is not the greatest place to live. They very much need to work on some of their racial politic. And even in the nonprofit work, I did have the pleasure though of going to what's called the Southwest Center for HIV/AIDS and Research, and with the choral ladies, I was able to do some community service there, and that's a nonprofit that is really, really doing great strides towards being more inclusive. I know that for those of you who live in Phoenix, y'all may have heard things about the Southwest Center in the past that weren't great, but I have one of my sorors, one of my line sisters. She's been recently hired on there, Black trans woman, a doctor, a medical professional, Dr. Naomi Antrell Bashir. She's on their executive leadership team, and she's over their behavioral health programming and their clinical services. So shout out to my sister. And watching her in her power, watching even the people in the office admit that before she got there was a climate that needed to change, and them embracing just her showing up to the space where a lot of them felt like it was radical, and a lot of the ideas that she's had to push forward to change the community have done a lot for that particular facility. So I will say in Phoenix, they have also it's very easy to get your name changed there. You don't have to have nothing. You know how all these other places you have to have verification. You get your name and gender changed same day, no tea. Like it's very it's very like, oh, yeah, no, you just gotta fill out the form, bitch. It's not even a stress. So that was interesting. And then seeing how much of a trans culture they do have, but it's very whitewashed. It was very interesting. So shout out to Phoenix. Phoenix don't owe me nothing. It's dry and hot. It is the desert. Your skin will suffer as a result. Like I had to learn from the people there that you put oil on in the shower when you're in Phoenix, because if you don't, it will dry you out completely. And just the atmosphere in general, it was hot, but you couldn't feel that you were hot because the sweat would dry on your body before you could feel it. So I was dry the entire time, but you know that you're dehydrated when you lose all the spit in your mouth and you feel like you're about to pass out. So it was fierce, bitch. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Good week for me. That's my check-in. What about you, Aeon?
So I was in New York this past weekend. It was one of my best friend's birthday. Happy birthday to Derod, Team Aries, Team Fire sign. So I got to go spend some time with him in New York. I haven't been to New York in over a year. I can't even remember the last time I went to New York, but it had been well over a year. In the city, it is not the same city anymore. Like the life and the energy that, like, if you ever taken a trip to New York and you get, especially if you catch like the train or the bus there and you get off like right in Times Square or right on 34th Street, it's just waves of people and you just feel the energy of the city. And when I got off the train, when I got there, it was not the same energy. Like it crickets.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, so it was not the same city, but nevertheless, I still had a good time. We got to go to a couple of restaurants in Harlem. I really enjoyed myself there. I got to see my niece Bella, which is my friend Derod's pit bull. I love her. She's such a sweetheart. And I just really got to have a good time. I'm planning on going back to New York for Pride. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm just happy I was able to get back up to New York and spend time with my friends. Today, on the day they were recording, I actually took off the day because I needed to get my hair cut. It was time. Shout out to my barber, Nick Lenz. I last minute, I just ended up renting a car to go back to Baltimore because the whole dramatics of getting on the subway, then catching the commuter train, and then I didn't feel like doing all of that today. So I was like, let me just rent a car for the day. And so I was able to drive up to Baltimore and then run some errands. And then I was able to go see my mom. She had a surgery. She had a surgery like a couple of days ago. So she's doing fine. I got to go surprise her. She didn't know I was coming, and spent some time with her. And then we made some plans. She'll be off in a couple of weeks, so we can hang out. And then she wants to go on vacation for her birthday, so we're trying to plan a vacation. So like I think to Tulum or something. So we'll see where that happens. But it's always good to see my mom. I love her. Work is work. What I will say about work this week in particular, I feel like I'm coming into my own as far as like my comfortability and my leadership. Now, I don't know everything that I'm doing, but I feel, and I'm so grateful to have a supervisor that is allowing me to like kind of grow into myself. And he is training me, but he doesn't chastise me. It's like everything's like a conversation, but it's not like you messed up, you're wrong, you're a piece of shit. Like he makes everything very collaborative. But this week I just had like, particularly when being a lawyer is orchestrating a lot of meetings between different law firms and organizations, and this week particular, and I can tell my supervisor's been overwhelmed because he's had to take on more. So I just felt like I needed to step up and lead the meetings and direct the meeting. So this week I just really felt like I've been leading some stuff on my own, and if it was good to just really grow into myself and to finally feel like I know somewhat of what I'm doing. So again, I'm in a really good position. I'm still on my job search, so keep your fingers crossed, keep your prayers up. But I'm calm. I know that something's going to pan out. I'm putting too much work in. I'm pounding too much feet to the pavement for something not to pay off. And I'm optimistic that I'll find something at the right time. But yeah, I'm just over here laughing and loving. I am planning a lot of trips. So not for this month. Next month I'm coming to Atlanta, but it's more for like a cosmetic thing. So I'll be
Mhm.
in Atlanta in May, and then right after Atlanta, me and my sis Paige, we're doing like a sister trip to New Orleans just to get away.
Oh,
So yeah, I'll be fully vaccinated by then, so I just will feel more comfortable just getting out there and just having fun and just doing fun shit. Like that, that's what it's about. So
mhm.
now that the updates are done. Oh,
Girl.
before we get into the main topic, it is a new month, so this will be the first show that we recorded for the month of April. Yay. And we have to start off our month thanking our patrons who financially support us every month. We wouldn't be able to do a lot of the great stuff that we're doing now without your support and without your encouragement. So let me just give a quick rundown of our patrons for the month of April. Shout out to Kita. Shout out to Safari. Shout out to Muteba. Shout out to Tiwa Queen and Jay, another black woman podcast.
So exciting.
Shout out to your soror Naomi. Shout out to Marique. Shout out to Belen. Shout out to Destiny. Shout out to All About D. Shout out to Abby Elias. Shout out to Preston Carter. Shout out to Maddie Wineland. Shout out to Oyen. Shout out to Carrie A. Shout out to La Lafayette. Shout out to Devin Harris. Shout out to I am Kevin Wendell. And shout out to Reggie. Thank you all for supporting us. And for those of you listening, if you want to become a patron, make sure you go on over to our box number 5 so Patreon page. You can become a patron for just as little as $5 a month. That will get you access to all of our recorded videos. If you become a tier 3 patron, which is $10, you will get access to our bonus episodes. And also don't forget, starting next month, we will be doing our pose reviews, which will only be released on our Patreon, and you will get access to our pose reviews if you are a level 2 or a level 3 patron. You will get exclusive access to those episodes because I know y'all want to hear how we break down the episodes and what we have to say about the episodes. But we just want to thank y'all for supporting us. Sis, did you have anything you want to say?
Oh my gosh. So, in this process, it's one thing to do this and to feel like, oh, I'm doing it for the culture. I'm doing it so that I can share my voice. I'm doing it because for these altruistic reasons. But to know that people legitimately are living for our whole judge to the point where they're willing to invest in our brand, they're willing to see us grow, they're willing, they appreciate what we're giving. So it was very, very powerful that even in like when I was in Phoenix, believe it or not, I ran across a box number 512 fan. Gagged me. Gagged me. A gentleman in Phoenix, I will not name his name, hit me up and was like, I cannot believe the Lioness is in my city. And like, don't know him personally, but very much was given like, I live for what y'all do. I have so much respect for y'all. And so we see, and he also let me know, this particular individual, that he was going, he is going to become a patron. And it was one of those things like, in the moment, to like have somebody hit you up and realize who you are. It was just so powerful. So all of our patrons, all of our supporters, all of the love, every like, every follow, every heart means something. But particularly for those of you who have gone in your pockets, and especially in this COVID and pandemic time, you've decided to prioritize us enough to give us a subscription. I love you, love you, love you. We love you. Aeon and myself really appreciate you, because that is going to allow us to grow and expand and develop better content for you guys. So shout out to all of our patrons on Patreon. And if you're not one, all you have to do is log on and become one. Yeah.
Okay, now let's get to the shit. Okay. So, Black. Thank you for listening to another episode of Box Number 512 Podcast, Grown Black Trans Women Talk.
And don't forget to become a patron on the Box Number 512 Patreon page, where we have all new exclusive content.
And also, don't forget to follow us on our social media, on our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook pages. And also, become a subscriber on our YouTube page. Until next time, bye.